What's up and welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host, and today I got off to a rocky start. I woke up a little late outside. It's just really dreary. It's one of those days where it's cloudy. It looks like it's going to rain all day. And then you finally decide to go out. It doesn't rain, but as soon as you got to get out the car to walk into the house or walk into a store, all of a sudden it starts pouring down raining. That's how my day has gone, but I know that no matter how rough my day has been, it's not as rough as Bryan Kohberger's day. In fact, as we speak, Bryan Kohberger is on the way to Idaho. Look up in the sky right now. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Bryan Kohberger. Literally, while you're watching this video, Bryan Kohberger may be flying over your house. And that's not an exaggeration. That's not a joke. That's actual fact. Someone watching this video may be watching while Bryan Kohberger is literally flying over their house. Well, anyways, yesterday Bryan Kohberger was in court and they released some body cam footage from the second time that Bryan Kohberger got pulled over on his way to Pennsylvania. We know that Bryan got pulled over twice. We saw the second body cam footage. I did a breakdown. I showed you some of the details you may have missed in that footage. If you haven't already, check out my last video. But now they released the first body cam footage. I was wondering, why would they release the second body cam footage from the second traffic stop and not the first traffic stop? Now, everyone has been debating all night over whether Bryan has wounds on his arms and hands in that traffic stop video. I believe it looks like he could have a cut on his arm, but then again, it's like video quality. I don't know if it's some pixelated madness or if it's a shadow, but it looks like he may be hurt. So there's a lot of discussion about that going on online right now. But without further ado, I want to go ahead and check out this new body cam footage. Now, mind you, this is the second body cam footage to be released, but technically it's the first body cam footage from the first traffic stop. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Hello.
How you doing?
How y'all doing today? Good, good. Take a look at your driver's license real quick if I could. See, he's right up on that van, man. He was right up on the back end of that van. Pulled you over for tailgating. Is this your car? Okay. Cool. Where are you headed?
We're going to well, we're coming from WSU, and we're standing early.
What's WSU?
Yeah, I go to university basically. And we're listening to this incident that was occurring up there. There's a shooting incident. That is SWAT team and everything.
So we're okay. I'm having a hard time hearing you because of the traffic. So you're coming from Washington State University,
Yeah.
and you're going where? Oh.
We're going to be going to Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Pocono Mountains. Yeah. So we're slightly punched because we're driving for hours.
Hours, days.
Hours to drive. Well, almost a day.
Okay. And what did you say about some SWAT team thing? Or
Yeah, there was a mass shooting and everything. We don't know if it was a mass
Where?
This was essentially what ended up happening.
Interesting.
Well, it's horrifying because he's going to the university, you know what I mean?
So y'all work at the university there?
I actually do work there.
Oh.
PhD in criminal.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard about that incident. Just yesterday, or?
This happened this morning. About an hour and a half ago, they're still wrapping it up for investigating. I'm not sure there's two shooters because they did shoot somebody.
I see.
And then we don't know about that actually. They were there for shooting.
Okay, so I have two major takeaways from this traffic stop. For one, though, it's hard to hear what is going on with all of the cars driving by and everything, but I did get to hear a good bit of it. My main takeaway is that if you notice, and if you didn't notice this, go back and watch it again. It may not stick out to you the first time, but now that I'm pointing it out, it will definitely stick out to you. If you notice, Bryan is trying to be more discreet about the information he's providing. Like, he's not necessarily telling them exactly where he came from or exactly where he's going. And his father starts speaking up and giving more information than what Bryan was probably comfortable with giving. As you can hear in the video, it's Bryan's father that ultimately says, oh, we're coming from Washington State University. And you can see as Bryan's father is like giving information to the cop, you see these sudden looks from Bryan, and he's kind of quiet. Whereas Bryan should have been the one telling the officer all of this information. And then once again, when the officer's asking him, okay, where are you headed? Bryan's like, oh, we're going somewhere up here or something. And then his dad's like, no, we're going home to Pennsylvania. And Bryan's like, no, chill, please. Seriously, go back and watch the footage. I can tell that Bryan was not trying to give out all of this information. Bryan wasn't trying to say that he was coming from Washington State University. Bryan didn't necessarily want to tell the cop that he was a student or he worked at Washington State. Bryan didn't necessarily want to tell the cop that he was going to Pennsylvania. His dad had to butt in and give the officer all of that information because Bryan was kind of being hesitant to really say where they were coming from or where they were going. So that right there is the main takeaway for me. I think, we don't want to read it too much into things, but that right there was definitely weird, And it looked obvious to me that Bryan was not trying to give out all of that information. And the looks that he gave his father a couple of times, I found that weird. One other thing that sticks out to me is out of nowhere, during this traffic stop, they start talking about another incident that is going down. Another incident that is dominating headlines about someone doing something horrible at a school or something, one of those mass pow-pow events. I can't even talk about it on YouTube or say the name. But that to me looked almost like a diversion tactic. Here I am. I'm guilty of these crimes allegedly. I don't want him to focus on where I'm coming from or where I'm going. I don't want him to focus on the fact that I'm riding a white Elantra that, everyone's supposed to be looking for all over America. So I'm going to start talking about some other current event to get the cop's mind off of it. If you notice at the end of the conversation, I can't tell who started it, if it was Bryan or the father, but they just start talking about some other situation that's going on at another school. And the cop's like, oh, I didn't know that yet, and all of that stuff. So it seems to me like they were trying to divert attention and divert the conversation elsewhere. And I'm not saying that the father has anything to do with this. It could just be a coincidence. It could just be small talk. But when you're really digging into a situation like this, and we know that Bryan is accused of these type of crimes, I really look into things like this because I do feel like that was a diversion tactic. Like, oh, okay, I'm pulled over. The cop's focus is all on me and all about where I'm coming from, what I'm doing. I'm a student, this, that, and the third. So now I'm just bring up some other trending topic in the news. Oh, let's talk about that. So those are my two main takeaways. We've already dissected the other body cam footage. We've seen what looked like wounds on his arm. We know that he has those black gloves in his lap. So there's other details here, and I'm going to go through this body cam footage again, and maybe I will pick out other details, but I was really focusing on the words. This video isn't about all of the things that you may see in the car. I'm focusing on the words, what is being said. And it's obvious that Bryan was trying to be really tight-lipped with the information, whereas his dad was just butting in and just telling it all, and Bryan was just like, yeah, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it definitely looks like Bryan was feeling guilty, and Bryan was probably scared during that moment. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think of all this? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell, and always remember one thing: remain opinionated.